Hi, this is Sean. I'm back with another episode of All Things Black. I have a new friend here.
Hi, everybody. My name is Khianna, aka Mocha Mama. I am the author of Soul Not for Sale, the poetic publication, and the CEO of Image Art Communications. And I'm glad to be here.
Okay, and we're glad you're here. So, me and Khianna are going to talk about colorism today. So, our first question is, what does the word colorism mean to you?
Yes, when it comes to colorism, and what it means to me is discrimination against darker skin or darker skin tone people. And that's just like the actual definition of it. But I also feel like you can still have colorism toward people of lighter toned skin being a darker person, just depending on how you might feel about certain things and situations. But it is the discrimination against darker toned people based on your darker skin color.
Yeah. Okay. And so, what do you think are some examples of colorism?
Some examples of colorism is a lot of things that you will see as far as people wanting to go with somebody who has lighter skin tone. So I want to say anytime you're in any type of environment, a lot of times in entertainment, me being just a poet, spoken word artist and performing and things like that, um, anytime they want a model, maybe they have like some hair products or stuff, they want a lighter skin color model to do stuff. So they will pick someone, because I actually was in a situation like that like a few years ago. They picked someone to like model some hair products, and it was pretty much like I think it was hair extensions. And so it's like me, my hair, I wear my hair naturally. And you would think that if somebody wanted to sell their products and show, hey, we have straight hair or straight bundles, this is the different looks and how you can change them up, instead of getting somebody who also had straight hair. It was just like the marketing aspect behind it. So it's just like different things instead of, it's like, no, I definitely want a person of a lighter skin color no matter what, regardless, doesn't matter. So those are just some examples where they're just choosing just basically skin color and not really looking in any deeper into what the profitability might be or looking deeper into a person's character. It's just strictly going off of, okay, this is the color skin, let's go.
Right. Okay. So, our next question is, why do you believe people have negative attitudes about dark skin? And why do you believe people have negative attitudes about light skin if you think they do?
People have negative attitudes about dark skin because it's pretty much a conditioning. It's pretty much
Yeah.
a conditioning process and even just a lack of not knowing who you are. So you're conditioned to not know who you are as a person, where you come from, what you're capable of doing, just as a human being. Forget your skin color. You're
Right.
already conditioned to just be like, this is just who you just are, like you're a minimalized person. But then when you have a darker skin tone and based off of how we know everything was from the past and it just being carried on for years and years and decades and centuries as to, hey, dark is bad. Dark, you'll even see it in movie theaters or I'm sorry, TV film. It's always like dark skin is the villain, black is a bad color, and it's like it's just everything is portrayed that way. And then when you have that brown paper bag situation that went on back in the day and is still even being carried about even among black people,
Mhm.
whether their skin is dark or light, they still carry those same aspects. So it's a conditioning in itself. And what was the other question?
Okay.
The color
So it was,
light skin people.
yeah, do you think people have negative attitude, or why do you think people have negative attitudes towards light skinned people if you think they do?
I think they do, and I'll see it sometimes, just out of resentment from
Mm-hmm.
them themselves. I did recently see something where somebody posted like a meme that said, "If you're not dark skinned, you're not of self, or you're not good enough or something." I'm like, this is just pretty much the opposite of colorism, but in the opposite form towards lighter skinned people. And so I think this a lot of it has to do with resentment. Like we've been going all these years being called these names and being treated like this and having lighter skinned people treat us less than, let's start treating them like they're less than now that darker skin is actually starting to come into fruition and really being fruition and really being celebrated more often. It's like some people are taking that and they're using it to lash out back at lighter skinned people.
Hmm. Okay.
I think that's what it might be. I don't know for sure.
No, I think that it will definitely have something to do with that too. Yeah, like lighter people are the more privileged Black people, so with that privilege comes hate,
Yeah.
or so yeah.
Mhm.
And so our next question is, what role do you believe traditional media plays in perpetuating colorist stereotypes?
Wow, the role media plays a huge role in every single thing from music when we're talking about, artists that want to use a leading lady in a video. She has to
Mm-hmm.
be light skinned and then she has to have straight hair or have to have long, curly, wavy hair.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what's always been pushed out in mainstream. And really, just like recently, you really start seeing them bring in different tones. But again, that conditioning just over the years. That's the role that they play in putting that in the forefront for all of America and the world, the entire world to see. We want lighter skinned women, and even when you see just how they do in TV shows, like sitcoms and stuff, you'll have like a brown skinned man, but then the woman who plays his wife has to be a lighter skinned.
Light skin, yeah.
Like she can
Mm-hmm.
never be darker than him,
No,
or it's just that can't be presented ever. When there's indeed people in relationships where the man is light skinned and the woman's dark skinned and they are celebrating 19 years of marriage. Like
right.
that's a real thing.
I have never. Now that I think about it, because I was just talking about how there's always the dark skinned husband and the light skinned wife. But I just thought about, I have never in my life seen a light skinned man, dark skinned woman couple on TV.
I haven't. You know what? Actually, I just pointed out to my son when we were watching Black Lightning. I think
Okay, is
the
one
wife
on
of
there?
Black Lightning might be just a little bit darker than him because she's
Okay.
not like a light skinned woman and her hair is cut real short. She's so pretty and she has very strong black woman features. And I had to stop for a minute, like, what's like, Keon look like, wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute, is she like darker than him? And that
And
show
then
is,
Black Lightning.
yep, it's on Black Lightning.
Okay. Hmm.
And so that's another show in itself too. That's just really changing the dynamics of what's being presented out there. But that is really the only show. I can't think of no other TV shows over the
Okay.
years from anything. So yes, just with the colors of the couples on TV, just the wife is always usually lighter, and then that Black Lightning it just really stood out to me because she's not really. I think she might be a little bit darker than him, and it kind of shocked me to finally see that come 2019.
That's shocking to me as well, because I don't think I've ever. I'll have to check that out. I don't think I've ever
Mm-hmm.
seen. And media does play a lot of. It plays into colorism just so heavily. Like what, like you said, not only is it always like a dark skinned husband and a light skinned wife, but then there's the dark skinned best friend who's always the butt of the joke. You
Yeah,
have that with Martin. There's this show on now, Marlon. I don't know if that's supposed to be the same as Martin, but Marlon is terrible. Um,
I talked to my son about that too because he's 14, so he's getting out there into the world. He's in high school and stuff, and so when we watch those type of shows, just so he can grab an understanding of what's going on in the world, I pointed that out. And I might have started even a conversation, even in like a group chat one time, was like, why is it like this? I'm like, it did the same thing with Martin. I brought up the Martin situation, and I said, now we got to show Marlon today for the kids to see, and it's the dark skinned friend who is always the butt end of the jokes, and it's like she's not even ugly. There's
no,
nothing wrong with her, and y'all always trying to make it seem like somebody who's dark skinned can't get a man, can't keep a man.
can't get a man. Always going on dates every. Oh, Marlon makes me so. And then, did you see the difference? And then they do it in subtle ways too. The wife or the ex-wife, she always dresses very conservative. Now, the best friend, not that there's anything wrong with dressing more risque or whatever you want to call it, to each its own. But when they stand beside each other, I feel like they're really trying to reinforce something, because in each scene, the light skinned woman is dressed very professional, I guess, for lack of a
Right.
better word. And the dark skinned best friend is always like scantily dressed. Like it don't matter where they going. Now, I know she don't dress like that everywhere
Oh,
they go.
24/7. No, nobody's just like that. I'm
I
going
mean,
to the grocery store.
24/7. But it's like that, right? It's like that in every single scene. And he even says something. He says, because I did a review on that. He said to his wife, um, you need to watch out for her. She might have a problem with light skinned people. She may be like the mulatto killer. He says that in the show. And then when his wife and another woman get in a fight, he goes, "Oh, that's light on light crime." So, yeah. I was like, in 2019, yes. And it got cut off very quickly. So I don't know if that was why, but
Right. That's what
he,
I say. They're done. Like, they wrap that up.
yeah. So, um, yeah.
That's
You're
crazy. I noticed that too. That's crazy you said it because I said the same thing and was like, I know I can't be the only one just like really putting that together. And then even the show Martin, and just even a couple years ago, I had somebody else point before the Martin show even went on air. Somebody was like, why was they always, trying to make Pam look like, she wasn't attractive and she was bad? Somebody else
what?
started the conversation. Pam was bad, honey. Still bad. Look.
I don't get it. You said your son was in high school. This is a side note. Do people at his school, has he ever said anything about people at his school doing the light skin, dark skin game?
No, not yet. He hasn't
Oh,
been yet. It's been a couple weeks now, but he don't know. I guess he don't really. He's not really in. But I don't know if anybody's ever done a light skin. He doesn't. He usually tells me about his days at school, but I haven't heard nothing yet. And what is that game about?
okay. It's a game. It's actually very popular on YouTube. I just did a study of them. There's hundreds of them, really. And they do it at colleges too. So we still do paperback tests in 2019, but digitally. But yeah, so it's very, very, very popular. Um, they go up to people and they say, which do you prefer? Light skin and dark skin. Some people say, which is better, light skin and dark skin. And then the person will say, light skin. Then they'll say, why? And these people on camera in 2019 on Al Gore's internet will say, I do not like dark skinned girls because um, they're ugly. I don't like light skinned guys because they're gay. Now this is on camera on YouTube. Like they say this like out loud. Like I'm like, do your parents know you on camera saying
I
that?
know, like what?
Yeah, they say it out loud on camera. Like no matter how terrible it is, what they say, like I, a guy said dark girls stink on camera out loud. It's posted on YouTube. So, yeah, so
My
this is pretty socially acceptable, obviously.
I'm telling you that conditioning, like look how it's conditioning into the world. That's why I always try to talk to my son about the stuff that goes on because there's things going on out there that he's absorbing and he's taking in, and I'm not there to explain things and break it down and help him understand why people think like that or where this thinking comes from,
Mm-hmm.
because it's really serious out there, like
It
just being
is.
nasty to people just because of the color of their skin. But one of the good things with my son though, and I try to keep him, is that um like my brothers and sisters, they're light skinned. My oldest sister,
Okay.
me and her are brown. Me and her
Mm-hmm.
are brown. And then all the five younger ones are light skinned because their dad is white.
Okay.
So my son, he kind of gets to see that, okay, this person might be light skinned, but they're just a regular person.
Right.
You mix and mingle like that. My uncle was Cuban Chinese. And me
Oh, okay.
being able to see that aspect, it made me understand that people are literally just people. They go through
Right.
the same problems, they go through the same things that people have to deal with. So there's no reason for me to say or think this person is better than the other person. But when you're not exposed to that, and all you have is just the circle or the box that you're in, and this is your life and this is what you're mainly around, you don't have exposure to other people and other cultures to say these people are people. You just
Right.
think, oh well, lighter skin, oh they're smarter, they have more money, or they're better just because I see that the skin is lighter. But
Right.
just having that access to actual different people, different kind of people, different races of people, mixed people, and you can hear and see, okay, they got drama and problems too. Okay. So
Right. Right. Exactly.
it kind of
Okay.
helps, but that, yeah, I have to definitely keep an eye on this this colorism stuff, because it will, even he will notice things like, you know, all my teachers are white women. So, he's already paying attention that,
Yeah.
colorism is there.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, where the black teachers at? Where the black men?
Right. Right. Okay.
His counselor is a black man, so that's good.
All right. So our next question is, what role do you believe colorism plays in dating and marriage?
Hmm. The role that it plays, it's a very damaging role that it
Yeah.
plays, that colorism plays in relationships and marriage, because when you have colorism and that's what you're going off of, it's not like, hey, this is just a good person, I can't help that their skin color is this way. When it's more so, when you're based off of colorism, is going directly and particularly specifically off of the skin color. You're not
Right.
looking at any other thing. And so now this person is got the skin tone that you like. Okay, I'm gonna make this person be who I want them to be, or I'm gonna put up with certain things from this person because of their skin color. And you'll
Right.
see with athletes, and when they get married to other races of women, it could be Asian women, it could be white women, and they will go into and say things like, "Oh, I don't date black women because of this, that," and then just to turn around and have that same woman
Do the same thing.
do the same thing to him. Have that woman of another race do the same exact thing to him. Put you on child support, divorce you, take all your money. Do the
Right.
same you said black woman was going to do. And look, here you are. And so
Right.
now that's damaging, because now you in the same situation because you're so focused on skin color and not at all paying attention to the importance of a person's character, their background, their integrity, where they come from. So you can go
Exactly.
meet somebody's parents and, oh, well, they're white. Let me go meet their parents. Oh, they have a nice house. You're blinded by all this other things instead of saying, their parents are kind of weird. Let me
Right.
hold
Right.
off on dating this person. They said something a little fishy. Let me calm down. No, you're blinded by the color of their skin. And so even when it comes to music, in the colorism, you hear a lot of rappers rapping like red bonus and she would look better red and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it really makes the youth and the young people and even adults think that this is the way of life.
It does.
And
Yeah.
okay, well, that's it, the life they're living, and I want to live this life. That sounds good. Yeah, he's right. And then they just go with it.
I agree. No, that's true. Okay. I mean, you said that. All right. So, what do you believe is the difference between colorism and preference?
The difference between colorism and preference. I actually like to live that life because I do prefer. Um, I like my men chocolate. I like them brown. I like them just like that. And because of the colorism thing, they don't always like me back. So.
No, I mean, yeah. Okay.
You
Yeah.
there's some crazy, but the difference is like dark skinned men are my preference, but I'm not going to turn a man away who comes at me respectfully. He comes
Hmm.
at me nicely, and he's saying the things that he's supposed to be saying, and he's treating me right. I'm
Hmm.
not going to tell this man, pause, stop, get away from me because you're not brown. No, it's like, no,
Exactly.
it's fine. I
It's
prefer to
true.
be brown, but you talking right and you treating me real good.
Right.
You can be yellow, white, Indian, I don't care.
Yeah. Right. It's about the exclusion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you cannot be, excluding people when that's your preference, but it's not the base, it's not the all that you go with. So
Right. And it's like, um and they say that's just my preference, but you look at their history maybe and they've never
some people
ever.
will try to say that their colorism is preference when it's really
Yeah.
colorism, because you've never been seen, you have no interest in
Exactly. And
these people with this skin color.
if that's every you've been dating, I don't know, 40 years and you've never come across any darker or brown skin woman that you
Like, come on.
like, come on now. I see right through
It's
it.
not a preference.
Yeah, that's
You're
not a
excluding
preference.
people. You're looking right over these people of the skin tone that you don't want for whatever reason, and then it makes people too, when they go into these relationships, everything is based on skin color, even when it comes down to their kids. And that's the main thing that you'll see. Even there's dark skinned women and dark skinned men. They want lighter
light
skin or white
babies.
spouses because, oh, I want kids with light eyes, or I want my kid to have curly hair, or mixed babies are pretty or something people will say. So I'm like, this is a mess. This is real damaging even for the adults and then for the children that are being born into that mentality. Then
The
here we go with that conditioning all over again.
the light skinned babies thing is a disease.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I mean, it's a fetish, and I think it's a very serious fetish that a lot of black people have. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of black people want to have a light skinned baby. I mean, I know it's
They ain't gonna admit it, but it's a lot of them who want that
yeah.
light skinned baby, and they go ahead and admit it. You want light eyes and curly hair and stuff like that. Like that's what
And,
they want.
and do you know that on the videos I was telling you about, they even say that publicly on those videos. Like at least I'll say it was 500 men that I did the survey on. At least I don't know, at least maybe 5 to 10 of them
Mm-hmm.
said, and even one dark skinned girl, which really broke my heart, said she didn't want a dark baby. But a lot of the men on there were saying, I mean, I just want a light baby. I just want a light baby. I don't want a black baby.
Wow.
On the internet.
It's
So it's a fetish that a lot of people are proud of. I mean, poor kids,
these poor
but
kids being born into that, and then like for me, I only wanted a healthy baby.
right,
That's all I ever wanted. I didn't care if it was a boy. I didn't care if it was a girl. I didn't have no preference. I just was like, I just want me to have a healthy baby because I don't know how I'm going to have to deal with, either a disabled child or, a mutated or mutilated child or somebody, a child being born with no arms or legs. I just want a healthy baby. That's all.
right.
And so just them thinking like that, it really does speak to the conditioning and the self-hatred. And I also too believe that some people want just lighter babies because of the names that they've been called.
Yeah,
So
okay.
time,
Yeah, a girl said
light
that in
get
the
called
last
names
video.
too. I'm
Yeah,
like, light skinned people get called names too. Like you're gonna put your child, set your child up for situations.
did you hear about that?
What happened?
At
YG?
yeah, at Nipsey Hussle's funeral.
What do you say?
This man at a funeral now. This man couldn't even save his colorism until when he got home. This man sat on stage at a funeral that him and Nipsey Hussle got some pretty light skinned daughters at the funeral on stage in front of everybody.
I'm gonna do something with that later.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a crying shame right there. That's a crying shame.
It's so normalized and we're so okay. I mean, people went crazy, but you wouldn't have said that at my funeral because I would have came back. Okay, and
I'd have set up in the casket. Excuse me.
exactly, it would have been a problem. Okay, it would
And
have been
that's
a
like,
problem.
and you would think that the mom would have come forward. I don't know. I didn't. Did she say something? Because
No,
I didn't even keep up with that. You would think their moms would have came forward and said
no, no.
something to offset that or combat that. But see, the moms are conditioned as well.
Exactly. They're happy that they got light skinned
Yeah.
grandkids.
They're happy their kids are light skinned. Oh, people are gonna love my kids because they're light skinned. And that's a shame to even go into that mindset.
That's truly what he said.
Right. That's crazy. My
On
son is brown, his daddy brown, and my son gets a lot of compliments. He's handsome. People tell him he handsome all the time. He brown. He ain't no light skinned child.
I don't know why people. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm like, this is craziness how they just be out here in this world, like just living life and building relationships and being in relationships and getting married just based solely off of a skin color.
Right.
It's really crazy.
Okay. All right. So our next question is: how do you believe gender intersects with colorism?
The
Um.
way it intersects with colorism, I remember you saying it early too about how people were saying about light skinned guys. I don't date them because light skinned guys are gay.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
that's the thing that men, when they're light skinned, you have to deal with. But
Yeah.
at the same time, when it comes to the men, you got a lot of women who are flocking to him because he's so handsome, he's so sexy, because they're made to think and believe that this is what that is. He's a light skinned guy, he can give me light skinned babies. He's still being held up as this token, and he's a man. So
Yeah.
even though they'll make this claim, oh, he's light skinned, he's gay, that might be something that, light skinned men don't really have those issues to deal with that. And dark skinned men, on the hand, are like always in season. You
Yeah.
tall, dark, and handsome.
Dark
That's the
skinned
thing.
man is praised. by light skin, brown skin, and dark.
I actually dated a man who actually finally decided to come out and say we would have some ugly babies. And he was brown
To
skin,
me, that's so
and
amazing because you're a very beautiful woman, very nice eyes. Very, I mean, that doesn't even make sense.
it didn't even make no sense. And he was handsome, everything. Like I'm
Oh, so just because y'all are not light, even two attractive people would not have a pretty baby because they're not light.
I don't understand.
Oh!
So this was like so many years ago that he even just recently, like last year, reached out to me and was trying to talk about how people make mistakes and they say things that they don't mean. And so he starting a conversation like that and wanted to apologize. Like, we're talking like 7 years later.
Oh, he apologized for saying that.
Yeah, for saying any kind of thing that was crazy. Yep, for saying things that was crazy and hurtful. He did things he didn't mean, and that's how some of them be. Like, just even then, like they're so caught up, and then they have to do. I guess some of them sometimes they come around and do a 360, but I just took whatever he said and just accepted his apology and let's just left it at that. I you still got that seed inside your heart to even think something like that. You wasn't raised right. But come to know, just even knowing him, just seeing the history, like his kids' moms were either light skinned women or Puerto Rican.
This man said we would have some ugly babies.
And then tells me we have some ugly baby. Mind you, we dating, we going out, we having a good time.
So that's like saying I don't see any longevity with you as well. Like this is just for now. If you see yourself having ugly babies with me, you're not gonna marry me.
That was it for me. Once he made that comment, I was like, what? I didn't even know he even felt like that. I thought we was good. I thought he was one of the people with a preference, but not colorism. And once he said that to me, oh, this is colorism. I don't even want to get pregnant by you by accident. Good day. Like this can't even happen. And I was like, we was had a good time, always laughing, had real good conversations. And it's not like he was tall. This man was probably like my height. So there again, me putting my preference to the side. I done put my preference to the side. This too. And you want to tell me our babies is gonna be ugly, but you sure our baby's gonna be short? Dude, 5'7". You 5'7", man. You want to talk to me about somebody being ugly? This is the stuff I've been talking about. No, I'm not doing this with y'all.
You put your high purpose to the side. You see what happens.
You see what happens? Religions, like they're selling the cream real heavy in Asia or over there.
Oh yes,
that bleaching
yes,
real heavy. The lighter, the better.
I was gonna say I went to school over there for a little bit, and I'm in Thailand, and all their lotion and stuff has bleaching cream in it. If you have to bring stuff with you, and if you forget, you're gonna have some bleaching cream and stuff. Then the girls I went to school with, now it's hot as ever over there, but they walk around with umbrellas over their face so they won't get dark. Like 24/7, it could be 100 degrees, and they'll have an umbrella on. And then over there they consider like dark skinned people to be like workers, and they are like regulated too, like the working class, darker skinned Thai people.
Wow.
And, yeah, they are. And then I had this man come up to me. He's like, "You're so black. You're so black." And they didn't say that to her, but to me, they're like, "You're so black," and I was like, okay. But yeah, so they have a bad problem.
Because then you clap back after they say you're so black, and then you clap back.
Do you think colorism is institutionalized? Do you think it affects like jobs, socioeconomic status, prison sentences, etc.?
Oh yeah, definitely affects prison sentences, and it will affect certain jobs based on your gender, and then and then it definitely affects your job if you're working in entertainment.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like when you are a darker skinned person, because the way that it's just been conditioned to see that dark is villain, it's the evil. This person really meant what they did. This person who's dark skinned, they can't have mental health issues. Or this person who's dark skinned, they can't, couldn't have done this by accident. They've done this on purpose. Where you have somebody who's a lighter skin, they show up and they look more innocent. They look like they really didn't mean to do it. And so that plays a definitely a huge role when it comes to making those sentencing and those handing down punishment and who's going to get punished the worst. Also, with the thought process and the mindset, thinking that dark skinned people don't bruise. I had to
Oh,
say that a white woman saw a bruise, and this was just this year. She was telling a story how a white woman at her job saw a bruise on her arm and was like, "Oh, I didn't know that black people can bruise." And this woman, she's a black woman, but she's lighter than me. And this white woman is telling her, I didn't know that black people get bruises. So just to even think that we can't get hurt, nothing phases us, we don't get bruises. All of this like really plays a part. Like, and I'm like, this is crazy that this white woman really think that black people
don't get
don't
bruises.
get bruises. And it just made me just think back to how they do birthing processes with women, with black women, and just the whole thinking that we don't feel any pain.
Right.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Or
they
maybe,
used to use us for
yeah,
medical experiments, so
and that plays a part. And so when it comes to jobs, like I was one thing, like even as a supervisor at my job, I helped him get he moved into a supervisor position within like 5 months working at our job at the airport. And I feel like if this was a black woman or a dark skinned woman, she would not have been able to move like that in that company.
yeah,
That's how I feel. So that's just an example of how gender, even both being dark skinned, how gender plays a part
yeah, it plays a part.
in different positions like that.
Okay. So you talked about this a little bit, but if you have anything to add, you can. Um, what are some of your personal experiences with colorism?
Um, Now with me, so I already talked about the guy with the colorism and
Mhm.
stuff. So that's with dating and stuff. Um, and then also the experience with the woman and this company just wanted to start selling bundles. They chose,
Yeah.
lighter skinned woman to do it.
Mhm.
Even though I was recommended, they went ahead and chose the light skinned woman. Um, but in other situations where colorism plays a part, me growing up, I'm the second oldest of 7 kids. And so, me, like I said before, me and my older sister, we are the brown skinned girls of the family. And then the 5 younger ones are all light skinned, either light skin with light eyes, light skin, curly hair, that's what they fit into. So just me being born the second oldest, so I'm the baby at some point, and then here come these other kids. Now I'm not the baby no more. Everybody running to the kids because okay, these are the twins here, for a bunch of different reasons. There's twins, and then they got light eyes, and then they got curly hair, and oh, these babies are babies. They're so cute, and just having to deal with that and see that, just looking back to what I can remember, and just me even recently thinking back, like wow, like I can't even remember being told that I was pretty until I was like 16, 17. I might remember my grandmother when I was like 3 or 4. She used to take me because she was a Jehovah's Witness, so she used to put me in a dress and she used to take me to go out and give out watchtowers with her. When I was like 3 or 4, I was real little, and I can remember this black and white dress she used to put on me and tell me I was pretty. And between that front time frame up until me being a teenager, I don't remember anybody telling me I was pretty and all that entire time frame. But I do remember everybody running to the lighter skinned kids, talking about how cute they are and how pretty they are. I can remember them saying that to them, but I couldn't remember it being said to me. So I definitely see how that will play a part. I mean, it didn't. So when people did finally start telling me that I was pretty, it's like I didn't know how to take it. I felt like why are you saying that to me? It was kind of like an adjustment to like really like, and I have to go look in the mirror and like I'm really like really just really I didn't really think I was ugly, but it's like what is pretty? So that was my definitely a whole lifetime experience because we all living in the same house under the same roof.
Right. Did your parents ever treat you guys differently, or did your siblings ever treat the two of you differently?
I feel like they did. It was
Hmm.
more so like the family members, like the aunts that would come in.
Right.
They'd be the ones that go ahead and flock to, the new kids and say stuff. And so it wasn't until I was probably like 16 or 17, I was at my aunt's cookout, and her husband like told my mom or something like Kiki's really starting to grow. Kiki's really starting to look prettier, grow into looking like a pretty young lady. Well, what the
Mhm.
hell was I before?
What? Oh,
And I'm like 16, 17. I was up there. Like I wasn't no young.
is
I
that a
was pretty.
compliment or?
Like, I didn't know how to take it. Like, okay. I guess mm.
Okay. Okay.
hmm But that's when it plays a part too, when you don't hear it in your family. And then you hear it, like some people can say, like people outside in the world, like I don't know. I guess I just never did trust that. You can call me pretty or whatever, but I just really didn't trust it. It's nothing like your family telling you that you're pretty, or your family, your mom and your dad telling you that you're beautiful, your aunts and your uncles. When those people are telling you, that holds a different type of weight than people from the outside coming in. Yeah, you could just be saying whatever. You don't even know me.
Yeah.
But just to see that this is how the younger children that were lighter skinned got treated, opposed to me. And even then, I don't even remember them saying nothing to me about my sister. I know. I remember once my mom would do her hair for like picture day one time. Was trying to tell her that she was cute because my sister didn't, of course, think she was cute. And you know what I mean? Her hair, she had a bunch of hair. But when you're young like that, I guess you don't think all of that thick hair is cute. It's if somebody's not telling you and explaining to you, like, oh, you have so much beautiful thick hair. If they're not saying it to you right, you're going to think that this is just a mess.
Right.
And so that was like where my sister was at with all her hair. So she just really never felt pretty. And even her took her some time to grow into who she is, like being the confident woman today and really just being solid and saying, no, I don't have to, whatever. But I mean, I feel like that colorism definitely played a part just even throughout my entire life, just because I had siblings that were lighter skin.
Right. And let's ask a question about that. So you would say your siblings, they didn't, act that way or act any way?
They didn't really any type of way like that I can remember. I
Okay.
don't know what they think or what they thought. I think if we were to grow up in separate households, if we grew up that way, I think there would have been some difference in how
Right.
because we were all grown up under the same roof. We all got whoopings. We all,
Right.
we all. They probably got more beatings than I did because them kids was bad.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good that your family didn't, well, like your immediate family,
Right.
because a lot of people's immediately family reinforce that. So it's good that, your siblings and your parents
Right. And
aren't
then
that
not
way.
just like even having my uncle who was Cuban Chinese. I'm trying to think who else was like it just was the family just was mixed up and blended. So it kind of made it, and nobody really act like this was like I was better, or at least I didn't couldn't remember or take it like that as a child. So I didn't hear anybody talk and act like they were better because I probably didn't know what that looked like.
Right.
But I just never felt like, my man is white, so I'm better than everybody over here. Or my husband is Cuban Chinese, so I'm better than all these people over there. So I just never really felt like that. My uncle was he was crazy. That man was crazy. He made me like between him and just the drama, even with my mom and her husband, which is my younger my ex
Siblings,
dad.
dad.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's just like drama. They kind of just seeing that kind of steered me away from wanting to date outside my race.
Mm.
That's because a bunch of drama that went on with them and those
Right.
different relationships with men that were not black.
Yeah.
I was like, I need me a black man because y'all crazy.
Still the same drama.
Yeah, I'm like, this is the same type of stuff.
Yeah.
And then I go out there and I date black men and it's like, it's the same drama from the uncle and my stepdad. I don't know. I'm just gonna just be a nun and just go on with my life. Y'all
Right.
crazy.
It's something with everybody.
That's when you really, really open. Like, really, wow, skin color really don't. It's really a psychological thing that y'all have. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are some cases where you do have experience that white privilege, and there's cases where people are still conditioned and have that. But it's like they can only have so much control over how you react if you don't tell your mind, okay, well, this girl is light skinned, so she is prettier than me. There's really nothing I can do about it. When it's like, no, this person has their skin tone, they're going to be pretty in their own way, and you are also pretty in your own way. Like, you're allowed to do that, but I don't remember hearing that at all in my life. I just had to develop that on my own.
Yeah.
And you would think, so I'll go out of my way, even just now, even as a, working with kids, even in the community,
Mhm.
doing after school programs. I make sure to go out of my way so that the young children, whether it's a boy, whether it's a girl, light skin or dark skin, I don't want you to feel like you don't matter. You
Yeah.
know, I'm not gonna push you away and start talking to all the light skinned kids, or push you, you know, away and start talking to all the brown skinned kids, because those are who I relate to. I
Right.
don't try to do that. Everybody, oh, you're so smart, and I try not to even talk about their physical appearance.
Yeah.
Oh, so smart, or hey, that's a pretty cool blue shirt you got there. I like those dinosaurs. Really
Right.
try to make it something more deep than
This
what
skin
you look
color.
like when I'm talking to the kids,
Right.
because they don't need to be worried about that. Like, nah. Now, if it's a little girl with her natural hair, I definitely gonna give her props on that. I like your puff balls.
Right.
Do it. You better do it. You better do it.
You have to.
Yeah, you got to build that confidence in them and let them, you know, feel good about themselves. Because it's like me growing up, we couldn't speak unless we were spoken to. That's how far back we go. And when I
Mhm.
tell people, like, you can't raise your kids today the way you were raised from back then.
Right.
It's a completely different type of mindset. And even though we're embracing that the darker skins more for when it comes to women, because men, brown skin men, always been in style.
Yeah. Mhm.
Now we're really trying to do that empowerment with the dark skinned women. I just need to have different conversations, because back then it wasn't always like that.
Yeah, it
You
wasn't.
you couldn't even do that. So now it's like different things to have different conversations with my son, and just even things in with technology and, you know, sexism and feminism, and him just understanding all those things. It's completely different type of conversations to open up to. Um, and that even was an adjustment, because it's like, what do I say to a kid? Because I remember as a kid, nobody talked to me.
Yeah.
You know, you just sit down and be quiet, and if you say something, you're gonna get popped.
Yeah.
That kind of really plays, even I felt like even damages just the developmental process that you need as a child, because you can't
Yeah.
ask no questions like, hey, what you doing over there? Pat pat pat. You get a beating for that because you're curious, and
Yeah.
it doesn't really help you understand yourself. It doesn't help you understand the people that are around you. It doesn't even help you to even articulate that. But at the same time, just me being able to sit back and I guess and not talk, or just be terrified to say something, it allowed me to observe a lot of things that went on around me, where I can even look back now and try to dissect it and put myself in a situation to even make more sense out of what was going on.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's just how everything worked out with me.
Okay. Thank you. And so our last two questions. Oh, I'm so sad. I gotta go to work. Our last two questions are: do you think colorism will ever end, and who is responsible for ending it?
The people who are responsible for ending colorism has to be with the parents.
Yeah.
Anytime it has to be with parents, and I mean even just you as an individual, because even if you have parents who are based on colorism, you can say yourself, you know what, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to treat people based off of what color their skin is, whether it's
Right.
light skin, dark skin. You can be an individual person yourself, being accountable and being responsible about how you react to people and how you say things to other people. You know, and if you feel like, oh, if you may have offended somebody, come back right away and say, you know what, I apologize. I
Right.
didn't mean to come off that way. Start being more accountable with what you're saying and what you're doing and how you're reacting towards people. And it's going to take time. It's going to take time, because even just me being conditioned too to believe the light skin, dark skin thing as well, it takes time to get yourself out of there. You know,
Yeah,
it's
it does.
not trying to jump on, oh, this little girl here with all these curly hair. When the girl with the puff balls is cute too. If you
Right.
acknowledge both of them, you can do that. And
Yeah.
so that is going to be what's going to take when you, as an individual yourself, you go ahead and decide, I'm going to make this change. And then once you decide to have kids, you make sure you help them understand that this is what colorism is. This is what we're not going to do.
Right. I
And then,
agree.
um,
Yeah, it starts with the parents.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All
And
right.
so once we do that, and then will it ever end? I don't think so, because everybody's not even strong enough to even say I'm going to be different, or
Right.
say I'm going to stop this cycle. Um, Even if I am benefiting from it, even if you light skin, you're benefiting from being light skinned. You
Yeah.
still have a responsibility to change that cycle if you want to do it. But there's people who get those benefits from it, and they do feel like, I'm better, I'm higher off. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm going to teach my kids the same exact way. Just like the Nipsey Hussle funeral, for an example. The moms didn't even come out to say,
No.
All children need to be protected. All children need to be looked after whenever they lose a parent. That would have been something you would think somebody would come out and say. But no,
Somebody.
right.
Somebody even in the crowd.
Somebody.
You would think somebody would have yelled, no tourism, or something. I don't
Exactly.
know.
Exactly. Like, I understand that, my children's father died or my husband, fiance has passed away, and we do appreciate everything, but, we need to make sure we're always coming together like this for all children that lose a father.
Yeah,
All,
that's what I'm saying, that in a room full of black people. This is on TV. Nobody gonna say nothing?
and nobody gonna say nothing. I'm gonna have to say something today. I don't care how late I am.
Yeah, like it has to be said.
But
That
that,
doesn't make no
but as
sense.
you can see, that's another example. It's like that's why it's never going to stop because people don't address it. The people who need to address those things like that are not going to. So I don't think it will ever end.
All right. Okay, so guys, thank you for watching. This is Sean and Khianna.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.